So where did we leave off last time? I think we jumped to Achi, right? Let's take a look. Jump, sun, yes, probably. So we can continue either with Minorikawa or Osawa, since everyone else, as it looks like, has it to be continued, which means can't go there yet, sadly. So we'll just jump right into Minorikawa. Okay, so we're back. As it happens, I'd also like to interview people from SOS. Would you be able to put me in touch with your son? Yeah, sure, and there it is, my son, which we jumped last time. So, oh, Minorikawa hesitated. Guess he's of no use to me then. Oh, believe me, I know how you feel. Oh god, that's harsh. The look on Endo's face spoke volumes. Poor Achi. He's doing his fucking best, you know, cleaning up the streets from trash and trash in literal sense. There was no point in interviewing Endo's son if he wasn't with the gang anymore. I figured that Minorikawa's run of good luck would end eventually. Well, you could always use him to get a hold of the current gang, you know. So I wouldn't drop that lead that fast, but alright. You're the fucking journalist and reporter, so you probably know what's best better than me. Still, he'd gotten a lead in the form of a name. SOS. That was progress. Sure. Alright, so back to the matter at hand. He flipped his notepad back open. What did you decide to do about all these juvenile delinquents? I set up a tiny little web camera in order to protect my property. Let's take a look. A web camera, sure. As if I didn't know what it was. I see. And I'm guessing the webcam did the trick? Sure did. And so then, other local businesses heard about it and started asking me to install some for them. Sounds like some kind of complicated money-making scheme for me, you know. Almost as if he orchestrated this whole thing just to sell his own business. Web cameras aren't particularly expensive, so it wasn't too tough to set them up all over downtown. You still need to hook them up though, right? You can't just install a web camera outside somewhere. They either have to have really good wireless or you need to plug them in somewhere. And you need to, at least where I live, you need to have signs that there's a camera installed. You need to delete the footage regularly, otherwise you could get in trouble with the law, and so on. So who's in charge of these security cameras? Members of the Downtown Business Committee take turns. The cameras are connected via a wireless network, alright, that business owners can access throughout the area. A LAN or local area network. Sure, it's wireless, I know. Sometimes the tips aren't that necessary, I feel. How's the security for this wireless network? Oh, no problems on that front. Endo seemed surprised at the question. All of the footage sent over the network is fully encrypted. Okay, also nothing new here. I know what encryption is, thank you. But still, Minorikawa speaking, but still, people can't feel too good about being recorded on camera without the knowledge, don't you think? Minorikawa asked. Exactly. Minorikawa he's smart. The shopkeeper's expression darkened. He still looks the fucking same. Alright, just imagine him with a slightly darker look on his face. We hope to strike a balance between crime prevention and protecting individual privacy. Yeah, just like 1984. And who determines what that balance is? Minorikawa let a note of challenge slip into his voice. I don't know what it is about fucking Minorikawa, but he's the goddamn best. He's genuinely one of the better protagonists in games these days. And I don't even know that much of him yet. That would be me. I've been entrusted with the management of the security cameras. I see. So essentially, you're providing your own moral oversight. Already spinning this into a news story, you see. Are you implying that I'm abusing my authority? Endo shot back. I'm doing this in the name of public order. Right. You've had your 5 minutes. Now get out of here. Oh, I think Minorikawa has what he came for. The shopkeeper stood up and headed into the bag. I'll be sure to let the wandering angels know about the dry ice machine, Minorikawa hollered at the closing door. It's still the same fear the truth, I think. I don't need to read that. Endo didn't reply. I think he's grumpy now. Minorikawa had gotten enough of a story to put an article together, so he decided to hurry to a coffee shop and get started on some copy. He was making his way down along Dokensaka when his cell phone rang. The incoming call display showed Chiaki's name. Man, I want to see her. Chiaki, what's going on? Oh, it's no use. She sounded like she was on the verge of tears. God damn it. What's no use? I can't do this. I just can't talk to people passing by on the street. What? Why not? It's just that everyone seems so busy when they're walking past. If I try to interrupt them, they're gonna be all mad at me. Who the hell cares if they get mad? Minorikawa was ready to start ripping his hair out. Don't do it, it's beautiful. I don't want... Oh, it's her. I don't want them to be mad at me, she whimpered again. Well, this wasn't about what she wanted, was it? She was supposed to be working, not whining. Look, Chiaki, you need to get me those interviews, period. Do I make myself clear? He hung up before she could squeeze in an objection. Just tell it to her in person, maybe then she can't refuse since she's so shy. Damn it, Minorikawa muttered. Just what I needed. One more thing to worry about. He pulled at his hair a few times, then cast his worried gaze in the direction of Shibuya Station. Oh, okay, that was a short one. Well, I don't know what I expected really. It was just a continuation of being in the electronics shop, so we'll go right over to Osawa. And I don't even remember what the fuck we did here. Calling Makino. Makino was the boss of his pharmaceutical company, right? So what was the decision? Whether we call him or not? Or I remember the J-pop stuff, the idol stuff. After a time, Osawa could feel himself growing calmer. He took a nice deep breath. He dialed up Makino. Oh shit! Whoops. He dialed up Makino, or he closed his eyes and tried to banish his nerves completely. I guess we just try to call him. I don't know if this decision changes anything really, since we now cleared everything that held Osawa back. We took care of him passing out. We took care of him getting emailed about fucking nothing and then passing out on a chair in the middle of nowhere. So I don't even know how all of this really fits into the story. He's the dad of the kidnapped girls, yes, but still. He took a nice deep breath and then he dialed up Makino. Yeah. Turn down the music. Has there been any progress? Makino asked as soon as he picked up. His voice was somber. No. Osawa. Oh, what was Osawa's voice? Don't even remember. Let's just give him a normal voice. No, he had a deep voice, right? No, Osawa said. Nothing much yet. I noticed in the recording after I edit, you don't really hear the nuances as well as I do when I speak. But just imagine different voices for these people. A tiny sigh came in from the other end of the line. I see it, and what can I do for you? Sir, I'll just get right to the point. Have you conducted clinical trials using the antiviral drug? Makino didn't respond right away. Oh, he's also the dad of his wife, right? What makes you think that? He asked at last. Osawa described the emails he'd received. Maybe it's not a good move to ask him. When he'd finished, Makino let out his breath in surprise. Not over the phone, he said. We'll discuss this in person. I'll head over to your place when I'm done here. As soon as possible, sir. As soon as I can manage, Makino said. You're not the only person who's busy. Then again, maybe it was the right call to call him. With that, Makino hung up. There was no doubt about it then. There had been human testing. Which is fucked up. Osawa went to let Tanaka know he'd be meeting with Makino. I mean, sooner or later you need to test it on humans, but man, if you're not quite sure yet what the effects are, animal testing is also really fucked up. I don't know. Medicine and pharmaceutical stuff is a really, really weird grey area, I think. Mr. Osawa, are you going somewhere? A stolid-looking man stood in the hallway, almost as if he'd been waiting for Osawa to emerge. It was Yoshio Kajiwara, one of the detectives from the Shibuya precinct. A detective with the Shibuya precinct's Criminal Investigation Division. He's sociable but awkward, and despite his reserved personality, he can be quite unsettling. His colleagues at the precinct refer to him by nicknames such as Japanese Columbo and Little Ken Takakura, which I guess is a Japanese detective popular in media? I don't know. Given his own quirky demeanor as a detective. Of course, I know Columbo, but yeah, whatever, right? This isn't a Dick Dictum guy, though, is he? He struck Osawa as a bit too soft-spoken and meek for a detective, really. And his treatment of the kidnapping case gave an impression of flighty detachment that made him seem rather undependable. Oh, no, not really. Have there been any developments, detective? Kajiwara shook his head quietly. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not really sure what to tell you. Kajiwara then slipped a hand into his suit pocket. He pulled out a banana? I won't read that. Fuck you. Are you hungry? These are good for when you're tired. I'm fine, thanks, Osawa said. What's the deal with this dude? Kajiwara seemed to lack a detective's sense of situational awareness. Yes, he's weird. Just being around him got on Osawa's nerves. Well, sir, I need you to come with me, the detective said. If you don't mind. He took Osawa by the arm. What is this now? This is getting weirder. As Kajiwara hurried him towards the living room, Osawa could hear other detectives talking on the other side of the door. He's working at a time like this, seriously? Sheesh. I do not get rich people and their priorities. Well, what's he supposed to do? Suddenly stop his... yeah, you could argue for either side. I won't even go there. Yeah, I feel bad for his daughter. Her dad's a real piece of work. Nice. They were bad-mouthing him in his own house. That's really fucked up. This is really, really mean. You shouldn't do that. Oh, I'm really sorry about all that, Kajiwara said, pausing in embarrassment. Let's stay in front of this door, though, and continue listening in on that, shall we? Osawa pushed past him and opened the door. You fuckers talking about me? Oh, that would be epic, but... yeah, look at these fucking poopers. A number of police detectives had holed up in the living room. Fucking pigs, right? They went suddenly silent as Osawa entered. So tell me, he said sarcastically, would you rather I stay here weeping as I watch this disaster unfold? The detectives winced and grimaced. You done goofed, guys. If he goes to your head honcho and tells them how you fucking talked about him behind his back, I think you can all commit Sudoku immediately. Forgive me for not being a perfect father, he added, his hostility building. Kajiwara stepped forward to intervene before things got out of hand. No, let's not be touchy. I am not being touchy, Osawa snapped. But he knew full well that he was. These guys had the time to sit around backbiting him, but not to go out and bring Maria to safety? Already close to half a day had gone by without any new developments. Well, there were new developments, but you just don't know about them since the police is fucking incompetent, apparently. Including Kano, who is still bumbling around, talking to his girlfriend on the phone rather than fucking catching anyone. And Kuze just giving orders to follow them instead of fucking apprehending them. The ransom demand had come in the previous night at 8 o'clock. Maria had been abducted roughly an hour before. It's a flashback, alright. Tomorrow, 10 AM, by Hachiko in Shibuya. Have the sister Hitomi bring 50 million yen. If not, the girl's life is forfeit. The kidnapper called only once, so the police were unable to run a trace. I'll do it, Hitomi said. Anything for my sister? I still get the feeling that she's in on it somehow. She didn't hesitate in the slightest at the suggestion that she make the ransom handoff. Osawa was staunchly opposed to the idea, but the police were of the opinion that it was better to acquiesce to the kidnapper's demands. Ai's reaction, on the other hand, baffled nearly everyone. What did she say? We don't have 50 million just lying around. Like the real bitch she is. Are the police going to be putting that together for us? Fujiwara stepped in to reassure her. If it comes down to it, the police will be able to help raise the money. Okay, go ahead then, do it. Maybe she's the one orchestrating all of these events. She's a real bitch. Dude, fucking Osawa, why did you ever... Why? Why do you marry such a bitch? Is it because of her dad? We'd need you to pay it back afterwards though, of course. Well then what's the point of that? Yeah, what's the point of you kidnapping your own daughter if you need to pay it back anyway? Ai's voice spiked up to a piercing shriek. I bet she is in on this. I bet $100 fucking bucks. And I don't even have $100 right now on my person. But I would immediately bet it. Calm down, Osawa told her. You're making a scene. I turned away in a huff. It's alright, detective, Osawa continued. I'll talk to the bank first thing tomorrow morning and figure something out. At that, I stormed out of the room. Fujiwara bowed his head several times in apology. As soon as Hitomi has made contact, we'll apprehend the suspect and take things from there. What? Hold on. Won't that put Maria in danger? If we let the kidnapper get away with the money, we have no proof that he will return the hostage safely afterwards. A fucking hostage situation never makes any sense. No matter how you deal with it, there's always going to be someone that loses out. It's such a weird thing to go for if you want money, since you know exactly how the police will act. Everyone knows exactly what happens if you take the money or take the hostage or whatever. You can't I don't... it's so complicated. Whatever, let's just continue. I'm getting flashbacks to... What's the name of the Denzel Washington movie? Man on Fire? Where he's the bodyguard of this little girl. Oh, what's her fucking name? She's an adult now. She's really old. I say really old, she's only slightly younger than me, I guess. Dakota Fanning. Denzel Washington is a bodyguard for Dakota Fanning, I think her name is. And it's really cool and really awesome and violent movie. Watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Man on Fire? Man Under Fire? Don't know. Just look for Denzel Washington. He's a cool guy. There was a certain logic there Osawa had to concede. Fuck me, that was one fucking ramble. I see, he said. So you're saying that catching this guy will be easier for you if he keeps my daughter hostage? That's not a nice thing to think about, is it? No, that's not what I was implying at all. Fujiwara wiped the sweat off his brow and bowed profusely. At least, I promise we'll get your daughter back safe and sound, Mr. Osawa. Obviously, there was nothing to be gained from further challenging the detectives. Alright then. I'll let the police do their job. Osawa bowed even lower than Fujiwara had. What is it with that? Japanese people and bowing. Why do they have to be so polite? How long are you going to just loaf around? I shrieked as she stormed into the room. Fuck me, I just go shopping or something. You're so annoying. Hurry up and arrest this guy. She was becoming increasingly hysterical. An hour had passed since the suspect had taken the money, and yet the police had made no effort to apprehend him. What are these guys doing anyway, all with their little laptops? What are they here for? Where's Kuze? The police apparently had a rule against discussing an operation before it was fully resolved, and so the Osawas had been left in the dark. So are they all just chatting away, talking to each other or something, so they can't hear? But they had overheard the task force talking over the wireless, and it appeared that they were deliberately letting the suspect roam free. Hey, I snapped again. If he gets away with our money, you are going to reimburse us, right? Fuck, are you maybe think about your daughter for a second, you know? Osawa scowled. She made it sound like the money was more important than Maria's life. I don't think Osawa is such a bad father. I think he just can't really show his emotions much. The detectives exchanged uneasy glances. Yeah, she's the fucking bitch, you know? Not Osawa being a bad father. No, it's her being a bad mother. Osawa chided his wife. It's only money, it doesn't matter. Osawa said nothing. You know what? Slap her. Give her a verbal slapping. Osawa chided his wife. Don't tell me it's mansplaining, okay? He's telling the truth here. It's only money, doesn't matter. Only money? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how much we're talking about here? Yes, 50 million. We've talked about this in the past. We've talked about this yesterday. We know. The ferocity in her voice left him with no response. He should have known better than to expect her to make sacrifices for his daughters. What? He knows she's such a bitch? This isn't a new development for him? Again, I have to question Osawa's fucking sanity when it comes to choosing his fucking wife. By now he was accustomed to Ai's coldness towards the two girls. Oh, maybe she's not really their mother, is she? The twins were Osawa's daughters from his first wife, who'd passed away 15 years earlier. I'm guessing she passed away because of an illness or something, and this is why Osawa is so passionate about his fucking job? Maybe? And then he married her to get closer to this pharmaceutical company boss? Not to, you know, whatever. I had no blood ties to Maria or Hitomi herself. Well, I continued, are the police going to reimburse us or not? I think she did it. She glared pointedly at Kachiwara. Well, right now we're focused on making sure Maria is safe. I stormed up to him, shouting right in his face. Stop dodging the question, answer me. Yes, of course, Kachiwara squeaked. Maybe, would you like something to eat to help you calm down? Is he going to offer her a goddamn banana? He held out a banana. I smacked it out of his hand. I don't want your fucking banana. Oh dear, what a waste. Kachiwara scrambled to retrieve the fruit from the floor. Can this get any weirder? This scene. It's so weird. Osawa went over to Tanaka and whispered into his ear. I hate my wife. I'm going to meet with Mr. Makina. Tanaka nodded silently. Turning, Osawa saw Kachiwara looking in their direction. They made eye contact, but Osawa quickly looked away and strode out of the living room. Kachiwara followed after him. Dude, what's your obsession with me? Excuse me, Mr. Osawa? Yes, what is it? The detective fussed sheepishly with his hair and forced a smile. So, we'd appreciate if you could remain in the living room as much as possible. Osawa was in no mood to stand on propriety. Look, I've got a ton of work to do, he said. Are you here to tell me to play the role of... Are you here to tell me to play the role of the grieving father too? That's one mouthful of a sentence, isn't it? No, not at all. Personally, I happen to think you're an admirable father, Mr. Osawa. What? Where did that came from now? Admirable? Did the word have a ring of sarcasm? What's wrong with Kachiwara? What's wrong with the music every time we stand with him alone in this hallway? His legs are a little bit too short. He's standing in the middle, he's just looking straight at us. I would be really freaked out if it was me standing there. He had no way to tell if Kachiwara was being forthright with him or not. You're no ordinary fellow, Mr. Osawa. You're a genius. A genius? Me? Osawa made a skeptical noise. That's my skeptical noise. Am I mistaken, sir? You've made very important strides in the field of virus research. Or, well, so I've been told. Or has he a personal interest in this as well? Osawa wasn't sure how to respond. He had never considered himself a genius. He was just someone who was more interested in viruses than he was in other people. Amazing. Everyone who is a genius is also a little... Everyone who is a genius is also a little bit odd after all, Kachiwara went on. Probably he'd intended it as a compliment, but still. Fucking Kachiwara. he has to have some sort of Asperger's or autism or something, I don't know. He's so unaware of what he's talking about or what he's doing. It's funny, but in an endearing way, cute, and I'm not laughing about him, I'm laughing about the absurdity of the situation. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with weirdos, so long as they leave us ordinary folks alone, you know? Is this guy trying to praise me or insult me? Is he talking about himself as an ordinary folk? Because he's not. He's a weird-ass detective. Not a regular one, but a weird-ass one. He's worse than the fucking hobo detective that likes to cosplay. Osawa let out a heavy sigh. Genius, weirdo, what did it even matter? So long as he could be left to his work, he didn't care one whit how he looked in other people's eyes. Hachiwara wiped the sweat off his forehead with a handkerchief. By the way, what are you working on right now? He asked. Oh, how subtle. I'm afraid you wouldn't understand even if I explained it to you, Osawa replied. Damn, savage. Right, precisely. Even if I gave it my full attention, it would still be beyond me. I get the feeling that Hachiwara knows more than he lets on. He peered with sudden intensity at Osawa's face. I'd appreciate if you didn't hide things from me, sir, he said. Osawa gaped, at a loss for words. Well, oh, I'm so sorry, Hachiwara added hurriedly. Goodness, that made it sound like I'm accusing you of hiding something, didn't it? The detective bowed his head repeatedly. What's the deal with him? I hope you'll forgive me. He held out that banana. That won't be necessary. How about this then? Oh, chocolate, okay. For a second there I thought he would pull out one of the pictures we got by mail earlier, you know, one of the fucking victims. This time he pulled a bar of chocolate from his pocket. Oh, it looks really nice. I'd like to have a bite, but it looks as if someone really bit into it. And that's disgusting if you offer it to someone else then. Just fucking break it off with your hands, you know? No, thank you. Did this guy just carry an endless food supply wherever he went? Oh, I really want some chocolate now. Oh my, Hachiwara murmured. Your geniuses really are tough to sort out. He inclined his head, mumbling to himself for a moment. He's making fun of us. What can I get for you then, sir? What I'd really like is some time by myself. In a daze of exasperation, Osawa felt his way to his study. Locking the door, he finally let out the breath he'd been holding. Then his eyes alighted on the bookshelf against the wall. What's there? Music? More J-pop? Maybe? No? Oh god, they're so cute. Look at these little ribbons. Oh my god, and the younger Osawa. He pulled out a photo album and began to flip through it. I like that they're looking exactly the same, except for the socks. The only way to tell them apart. It's a really nice touch. There were pictures of his daughter's grade school enrollment ceremony. The mother had already passed away from illness. So Osawa had taken the girls himself. He remembered that, after the ceremony, Hitomi had come down with a fever. Oh. Hitomi had been rather sickly as a girl, falling bedridden at the drop of a hat. Maria, by contrast, had been lively and energetic, quite a handful, so Hitomi is the right one and Maria is the left one, I guess, since the left one is laughing? Osawa had found it remarkable that their personalities could be so different despite them being twins. He flipped further into the album. Well, I think maybe it's a case of they want to separate themselves from their other twins, so they go in entirely different directions to find their own individuality. Oh, they're slightly older. Now they're wearing the same socks. And the fucking ribbon looks like the goddamn Umbrella Corp logo. There was a picture of the three of them at their grade school graduation. Maria was looking away from the camera. Oh? Why? I thought she was supposed to be the spunky one. Osawa felt like someone had stabbed a dagger in his heart. Oh, was she angry at him? His daughters or virology? Or virology. I don't know. How is this pronounced? Which truly concerned him more? I think his daughters. Which did he truly love? I think definitely his daughters. It was ridiculous to try to compare the two. He'd known the answer before he even asked himself. Even so, human emotions were complicated and sometimes made people act inconsistently. One of the consequences of that was this photo album. This was the last photo he had of Maria. What? He searched and searched through the rest of the album, but she was nowhere else to be found. What? How? She looked so sad too. Why did he never get another photo of her? That's really weird. And we hit yet another to be continued, so I guess some of the others will clear up? Or do I have to make another choice somewhere?